yourself something funky.
Evening, peoples. Evening, Stefan. Stefan was the first on the stage. And Stu Walker away, tagging away. Thank you there, guys. All right. It's that time of the week where we have the Spice Freak. We didn't know if he was going to make it because we couldn't remember if he was playing cards this week, but he's not, so we'll bring him in.
I actually was, but somehow it ended at like 2 in the afternoon, so we're all good.
That was lucky
I very
for
much
us.
doubt next week's Nationals will end so quickly, so you probably won't see me then. But you got me this week.
Did you win?
Oh no, I did terribly.
Oh,
5
that's
people
probably why
showed
it
up, I
ended
came
quick.
4th. And we don't even know how I beat that other person because I never won a game.
Fair enough.
Hopefully I'll do better next week.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to bring in Gus because Gus is going to munch on pods whilst you do your reviews.
Okay.
So we'll leave Gus down there, down at the bottom. Evening, Gus.
You got for us then, Gus?
Right, mate. Hey, lads. How you all doing? Right.
Gus has got a little plate of pods that he's going to...
Yeah.
little-
Mix.
This
Is
is
the
a
mildest
vampire.
among them?
Yeah, that's the Vampira.
Okay.
I think it's the Vampira. Do that.
Starts off very dark purple and ripens to red by any chance? That's what the name would suggest.
Straight in with
That's
that one,
very
wasn't it?
red inside.
How's
Yeah,
it
that's pretty
taste there,
striking.
Gus? Thumbs up. He's very blurry, so I can't read his facial expressions.
No, but he's got a cough there,
I was going
certainly.
to say, there's the cough.
A little bit on the back of the throat, but nothing too bad.
Yeah, it'll catch you like annuums do that one, I think.
Throat kick.
Like your jalapenos and stuff that can catch you a little bit off guard, but aren't really that hot.
Yeah, this next one I've never done. So
What's
I
that?
thought it was a sugar rush, but it isn't.
Right? Oh?
No, it's called a transparent tiger.
Oh,
As you can see, it's very similar to a sugar rush.
Oh, it's bell-shaped.
it does look a lot like the Sugar Rush Peach. Not a Sugar Rush Stripe, sorry. It does have a similar shape to some of the Mad Hatters or Bishop's Crowns or
Bishop's
all those
Crown
other
was
names.
what I was thinking.
And it does also
Well-
have possibly some similarity to, or at least in name it has to, the Pink Tiger. So I doubt it'll be as hot as that.
No, this is about 100,000. So,
Right, so still a decent heat.
Decent sized pods.
it's a meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That does not look like a sparkly white. I mean, in shape, yes. In color, absolutely not.
Evening, David, dude. Mr. Hainsworth in the house.
How is it?
Hmm.
Does it have the flavor to match its appearance?
Seems okay so far.
Yeah, he seems to be enjoying it, but we're not getting a lot of words out of him.
kind of a citrusy, bell peppery sort of taste to the flesh.
Okay. Citrusy
Heat-wise?
sounds good.
Still only a very, very mild. That's more in the back of the throat and the bottom of the mouth.
So maybe not the full 100k then?
No, probably not that hot.
Because 100k is low end
And
habanero.
this next one is where it all goes horribly wrong.
Oh dear, what we got for you?
Evening, dude.
This is the Twisted Naga Black.
Ah, okay. Ooh, yeah.
I haven't actually tried this one before. It looks completely evil the way it's black and red.
Oh.
It is.
Oh, yeah. Right. So that's a purple one that's got a ton of the purple pigment.
No,
And then it's
it's black.
ripened and yeah, some of the
That's how it
purple is
goes.
black, and then it's kind of ripened to the reddish color that it gets. And that on top of the red underneath has given it a real glow where the black and red meet.
Makes it look like lava.
Yeah. I love the look of those ones.
Yeah. I have a funny feeling I'm not going to like them.
It's a
Got the nose thing.
naga, as Stu says.
Yeah, it's a oh naga. Where's the
It's a
toilet?
naga.
Yeah, it's going to be a
I'm
good
not
pepper
going
that makes you
doing that
suffer a
again.
lot.
Yeah. Hopefully this is the 800,000 instead of the million. But no matter,
Yeah.
it'll probably be the million.
Knowing you'll have got one of the slightly mutated ones that come in at around 1.4.
When you
Yeah.
get the rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like, oh, it's Angus. We'll send him a special box.
Yeah.
We'll put
Paul
chocolate
Thompson
ghosts
just
in
says you
there
look
as
like
well.
you like your box of pods.
Oh, I do. Cheers, Paul.
Charlie says primo next Gus.
Maybe not right away.
Yeah, maybe not tonight, mate. Right, here we go. Bit of indigestion.
That doesn't hear a crunch.
Very juicy.
Juicy. I was sat waiting for a crunch and I didn't get a crunch.
No.
Not hot.
Huh.
Not hot.
Nowhere near a
Give it a
million.
moment just to be sure.
I wouldn't even say that was 100.
Huh.
He got the dud pod instead.
Yeah.
So we'll have to go with Charlie's suggestion as primo next Gus.
Or do you
No.
have, just by any random chance, the 7-pod infinity?
What, a dragon's breath?
No infinities.
No infinity
enough.
peppers there now.
They're not a very common pepper. And they were, as far as I know, they were grown by one company. They held the world record for literally a fortnight. And
wasn't
basically
long, was
weren't
it?
heard of since, other than in their exclusive
Maybe it
source.
is a little bit hotter. It's a bit like a
Okay, it is
reaper.
growing.
That's weird.
But yeah, that company is Fire Foods. And I thought they'd
Nice.
gone out of business because their website disappeared and I couldn't get in touch with them or anything. I was really disappointed because, you know, they were a hot sauce legend. Well, a chili legend. The only company to have a pepper that only had a world record for 2 weeks. And also, while it's not particularly well known, they were actually responsible for the dragon's breath. The dragon's breath was grown from seeds that were supposed to be the 7-pot infinity. So will
See
have
you
come
later.
from Fire Foods.
See you in a bit, Gus, dude.
But Fire Foods are quite prone to accidental crosses. And so nobody actually knows what the other parent of the dragon's breath was. But it does seem to be half 7-pot infinity if you follow all the news stories. But today we got something a little bit milder than all their infinity stuff. This is the fire garlic to start with. Picked this
That
one
looks
because it's a
familiar
sauce
to
I
me.
know, so we can see if the new packaging and everything is just a new look or if there has actually been some change to the sauce. They say it has a hint of beef monster munch to it as a flavor, which sounds really bizarre to me because there's nothing that should be that in the ingredients list. but maybe that's from the roasted garlic. Maybe there's a bit of umami to it or something. I don't know. It's 30% garlic, then chili. They're not telling us what sort. Cider vinegar, water, muscovado, which will be muscovado sugar,
Yeah.
then spices and salt.
I'm sat waiting to see if it actually does taste like beef monster munch now.
Oh, Paul Thompson has 7-part infinity. Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you can smell that in the air, and I can kind of see what they mean. Yeah, it is something in the savory spices with that roasted garlic. I'm not sure quite what that flavor is, what that scent is, because it's not beef. But yeah, it is reminiscent of beef monster munch still to a degree.
That sounds very unusual.
As you can see, has a fair bit of thickness to it.
Yeah.
Orangey brownish color.
From where I'm looking, it looks kind of gelatinous, like a chutney type thing.
Almost. That has a bit more of a kick, I remember. Pretty sure it's some sort of naga going this. And likewise, it's not as sweet as last time I had it, which actually I think is a good thing because I wasn't expecting a sweet sauce before. I wanted that savory garlic. And it does pack more of it now. But it is that rich, savory, spiced, not quite curried, but not far off flavor. And yeah, you can hear there's definitely super hots in that. That is definitely hotter than a habanero sauce. Though I wouldn't say it was above goat. And yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up at the back of the bottle. So you can see all those little white grains in it.
Yeah.
Because that shows you just how much garlic is blended into this. That caught me off guard.
What would you use that on? Because when I'm looking at it, it's just saying pizza and bolognese and chili con carnes and...
Yeah, I can see all of that. Generally, soups and stews, probably of a more tomato kind of nature. Maybe your casseroles, that sort of thing. All of those. And, I mean, maybe more of the curried noodle dishes as well.
Noodles too, yeah. Because of that beefy...
Yeah.
Yeah, that would...
Is that not quite beefy, roast spiced garlic? Jeez, I got through a fair bit of my milk on that one. That's going to be a problem, because they only get hotter from there.
Oh, that's not good news. You've just been hiccuping already.
But yeah, aside from the sweetness, aside from the lack of sweetness, it is very much the flavor I remember. It's just hotter. So there have definitely been some changes, but I suspect that's just, it's a different batch. They've made it up slightly differently. I think it is still the same people behind it because so much of the same flavor is in there.
Sometimes it can just be a little bit hotter or a little bit milder due to that, yes, chilies and...
Yeah, and it might be, but like people like hot pods, they don't use a specific chili. They just throw everything together, blend it up, use different amounts of that batch to make everything.
Could be.
I mean, hot pods do have some where they use a specific chili, but most of theirs, it's a mix of all. I mean, I've seen their room full of just thousands of varieties, basically.
That's actually how Heinz keep their ketchup exactly the same all the time, because they don't make it out of one particular tomato. They use a mixed batch of multiples, and in that way around, it's always got a blended flavour. Keeps it consistent.
Then we have the Mustafa Shata. which I will not be pronouncing without the accent for reasons. This, they claim, is a 4 out of 5 heat, so actually about the same as the last one. This is apparently an exotic fusion of Turkish spice and fiery flavor. And this is chili, cider vinegar, water, muscovado, garlic, salt. Oh, crap. Yeah, that wasn't listed on the website. Final ingredient, 1 million oleo resin. Crap. I'm just going to quickly check the other sauce I got.
I like the way they
that
snuck it
doesn't
on
have
as
it
a
as
last
well.
ingredient, so it must only have a small amount.
Yeah, but you only need a small amount.
That's it. I think what they're doing there is they're just adding that little bit of oleo resin just to make sure the heats are all around about the same for every batch.
Okay, so this one, they list it hotter on the side. This is their 5 out of 5. Their Fukinshi Tot, which this is chili, cider vinegar, water, muscovado, garlic, ginger, spices, and salt. This does not list any oleo resin.
That actually sounds nice.
So I'm surprised that the other one is supposedly less hot than this, if that's the oleo resin based one. But I'm going to let you lot be the judge. Which of these would you prefer me to have first? Which do you think I should have second? The one with the oleo resin, or the one that says it's hot?
I would go with their rating, because then you can decide. If you can't detect any extra heat in the one that comes after,
okay,
you know it's all rubbish, don't you?
Yeah. This one, I'm going to show it to the camera. You can see a little bit more black grains in the neck. Maybe I certainly could. You can also see this one's a lot more liquid than the last.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely has a different spice mix from the flecks in it. Let's see if I can show you there. Yeah, you can see some of the flecks there. Give it a good shake if this is the oleo resin one. Don't want all that floating to the top.
Yeah, good point.
That smells really nice. It's sweet. It's chutney-y. It's those same winter spices and maybe a dash of raisin or something. I mean, obviously, it doesn't list any raisins on the ingredients. That's probably not actually in there, but it's definitely got hints of that in the aroma.
You've just basically described chip shop curry sauce to me.
Well, we'll see.
I know it's not raisins and chip shop curry sauce, it's sultanas. It was just the way it sounded.
I mean, they're basically the same thing.
Well,
yeah, this one, it looks good on the spoon, but it is definitely thinner than the last by a fair margin.
a splashy sauce.
Yeah. Okay, there is cinnamon in that, but it's not nearly as sweet as it smells. It's more savory. It's definitely got a vinegar tang. Honestly, I think this could go quite nicely on a kebab. I think they're right about it being Turkish. On its own, I'm not that keen on it, but I think in the right context, this is going to be gorgeous.
I like the sound of it going in a kebab, but for me, I'd probably put it in a kebab with a bit of garlic sauce as well at the same time.
Yeah, I see you. You don't have to have just your chili sauce in the kebab, but this is not going to be better chugging it.
The stew, man.
The heat up front is chili powder and it's all natural, but when it goes away, the oleo resin stays with you. And it's not that bad. I'd say, if anything, it's probably actually milder than the fire garlic. But at the same time, the fire garlic faded away. This is nowhere near doing that yet. So they've definitely gone for a heat that stays with you, and I think there might be a tiny bit of the bitterness in the tail of the flavor, but it's not overly noticeable. You put that in a meal, you're going to feel the oleo resin, you're not going to taste it.
The way you described it now, I probably wouldn't put it in me kebab. I would probably dip a couple of fries in it whilst I was eating the rest of the kebab.
I could see that.
Or
No, it's a very different heat. It's all around sort of sides of the mouth, bit of a glow in the back, but not really in the throat or anything. And also, of course, the first one got me hiccuping. It takes a little more for the second one to do so if that's happened. But yeah, I genuinely think fire garlic's hotter. Mustafa stays with you longer. Because yeah, it's just starting to die now. So I'm going to have a bit of the milk again. Hopefully not run out of it.
sounds like that one's one that you could accidentally ruin your food by putting too much on.
Potentially.
Because that heat is not going away in a hurry.
The milk has killed it pretty well, though. Then yeah, the fukinshi. Yeah, we all know. This was, as said, chili, cider vinegar, water, muscovado, garlic, ginger, spices, and salt. It's interesting that the last one had the oleo resin, and this is supposedly the hotter one. I'm going to give it a shake.
Higher pepper content.
Yeah.
Stu didn't quite catch the name of that. He says the what?
Fukinshi Hot is the full name. They actually separate all 4 syllables, but I'm being very careful with that one. Yeah, it's sweet like the last one, but the spices are more the ginger. You can definitely smell that in there. So it's still relatively subtle, mixed in with the rest. Mixed in with that chili base.
It looks a lot redder.
They say great in stir fries and with noodles, fantastic with fish, prawns, and chicken. And yeah, from the aroma, that's definitely what I'm getting. Let's see if that's how it comes across when I taste it. I'd say it's marginally thicker than the last one, but only marginally. And I don't know if you saw the string as I was pouring it there, but there was definitely some ginger fiber in it. Also a little tart, but not overly vinegary. Just really brings the ginger to the fore.
Hence it goes well with stir fries and with noodles and...
Yeah. Definite bitterness to it, but it's a real pepper bitterness to it. I'm worried, though, because the flavor is that of something that's going to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, that looks like it's grown.
It's a slow burn still. I'm not sure how hot it's going to get. So in the meantime, I would like to mention we have an address for them and we have a web address for them here.
Excellent.
The web address is firefoods.co.uk. I'm going to quickly check that because last I checked, that was not working. Yeah, that's not a real website.
That's not working.
So the fact they've updated the labels, put their web address on, and oh geez, that's a sharp burn now all over my tongue. It stings.
That's caught up.
Yeah. So where you can get these is from Wiltshire Chili Farm.
I think that's earlier on, right at the very beginning when I says these look familiar. I think that's where we picked them up from, the Wiltshire Chili Farm.
Probably, because I've not seen these labels anywhere else. They used to be a completely different lot of packaging. Yeah, that's a really stabbing burn. And it's definitely the hottest of the bunch.
Regardless of it having no resin in there, it was still the one that was hot on.
That's all natural, and I don't know what chilies they've put in that, but actually that feels kind of like their Infinity. Or no, not quite their Infinaga. Their Infinaga is a bit of a deeper burn.
Flavour-wise, I do like the sound of this one, but I think that heat-wise, I'd probably ruin a lot of meals by adding too much.
Yeah. It's something to be careful with, but the flavour of the ginger works really well with it. They've done good with that.
Probably for me, I'd be better off adding a couple of teaspoons after I've done my stir fry on my noodles rather than adding it in.
But also, if you've got it in a hot pan, you're going to be vaporizing a lot of that heat. You don't want to be standing over that as you're stir frying.
I think the winner.
No thanks, Alan.
The winner for me tonight seems to have been the first one, really, just for my taste buds.
Yeah, I'd say for me too, the fire garlic is probably the one I enjoy most. But I think there's genuine skill in how they brought out the ginger in the fukinshi. And the Mustafa will go very well in the right context, which will probably be something like your kebabs.
Yeah. I think that one, with the right kebab, yeah, like you just said, as long as you didn't put too much in, I think I'd be all right with that as well. Third one, I think the heat might be a little bit too high.
It's interesting, though, that the extract one isn't the hot one of the bunch.
Stu didn't quite catch the names again.
All right, so these are all by Fire Foods, who have a little bit of a rude and sweary sense of humor. The first one is the perfectly safe fire garlic. But then the other two are a bit harder to pronounce in a family-friendly way. This is the Mustafa Chata. And this is the Fu Kin Shi Hot.
There you go.
No, I'm not trying any more of them because that's a lot of heat. And the first two were definitely not mild, but there was a good bit more in the last one. It just took a while to catch up to me.
What I liked about these ones this week is they all didn't look too bad. Although I said the first one looks as though it's the one I'd go for, they actually all look decent sauces, really.
Yeah, I'd say they all are.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Stu.
So their Infinity sauce will make you suffer.
Well, it's coming up to 5:30, and you need.
Yeah. I need to head off a little early tonight, but I think I've finished off everything I needed to do. As said, if you want any of these, Wiltshire Chili Farm, which I believe is justchilies.co.uk, is the place to get them. I don't think anywhere else has them at the moment. Their own website does not.
If you shout in the group for the Wiltshire Chili Farm, he will pop up like a magical genie.
I was honestly there because I wanted more of their cheeses, which sadly they don't do anymore. But their chocolate is beautiful. Their own sauces are great. Personally, I love their mango one over a nice bit of tuna. But yeah, I would thoroughly recommend Wiltshire Chili Farm stuff, but this stuff as well.
And whilst you're there, you could order both.
Yeah.
See you later, dude. And that was Corin Slot, the Spice Freak. He comes on every Sunday to show us what goodies he's found. It looks like you found 3 cracking winners there. And like you just said, if you go to the Wiltshire Chili Farm, you can actually order them sauces and some from the Wiltshire Chili Farm as well whilst you're there. Other than that, I'm going to get myself out of here. New Chilli-heads, loose as the sun. Bye, guys.